Joey and Friendz here to save the day. Talking about dolls and making our own way. Talking to visionaries, dreamers, and kin. Anyone can play here cause we all fit in. From Darcy to Body, from Dawn to Glimmer, we talk about world as the lights go dimmer. Follow us to a playground filled with stories and let us entertain you with tales of our glories.
Hello, recording.
Yeah, I'm like not taking any chances.
Uh,
Hi, everybody. I'm Joey Dollmaker Versaw, and I am here with Tyler James Chastain, who makes incredible, amazing fashions for our beloved Barbie dolls. Hi, Tyler.
Hi, and hi, everyone.
How are you doing this today? I was going to say this morning, but
This morning, afternoon, night, I'm good at all the times. No, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here and talk about dolls and fashion and design. So,
it's
yeah.
going to be excited. I'm really excited to get into it. What was your first memory or experience with the doll?
First memory would probably be, let's go back to what year was this, like 1998. I'm two, and my parents put me in this like swim class, and they had a bunch of toys for the kids to play with. And out of all the toys, I gravitated toward an Ariel doll, of course, specifically the Tycho beautiful hair Ariel, such as
Yes, the
this.
most beautiful
Uh,
of all.
and I only know it was this Tycho because of the hair length. The hair was just like really long. But it was definitely this doll. She had like the smaller body and like this face. But yeah, I just every time I would get in the water, I just want to like run the hair back and forth and back and forth. And uh, I think hair play kind of became a big thing for me, as it does, I think, for a lot of people. And what
Yeah.
Mattel figured out, they're like people want to play with the hair.
When
Um,
I was a kid, I didn't get that doll. I had the actual first Ariel made by Tycho. And as we all know, she's a very interesting and unusual doll, and didn't really look that much like Ariel, with an odd hair color and an odd skin tone and an odd everything face sculpt. But I was living. I was so in love with Ariel. It was like my favorite movie in the whole world. My grandmother took me to the theater 6 times to see it, and it was just a big deal. But when Tycho changed their recipe and came out with that Ariel, it was amazing. They were so cute, and I loved the whole line. I loved the whole like teen theme and the odd team friends, and even introducing an African American friend in the lineup, which was really cool, and having the fun playset, which that I when I was collecting, that like then ended up with you. It was a really fun little, it's a fun collection, you know?
it's so fun, and they had so many like fashion packs too. I just thought it was so fun that they can take something so simple like a bra and a fin and do so much with it.
Even
Um,
lingerie or like just
yeah,
bedtime sleepwear, like they went for it.
I love it. It's
I love
great.
it too. Do you remember very first Barbie that truly captured your imagination and what made her so special?
So probably I played a lot as a kid in like the pool with my sisters, and being a kid of the 90s, like who didn't play mermaids. And so along with that, um with like the Ariel and all that, I think mermaids are just like a big thing. And the one that my sisters and I had was the second wave of the Fairytopia mermaids with the silicone tails. They had like streaks of color in their hair and like jewels on the fin. But
They
like
were so beautiful. I
the
think
fact
they
that
had
you could
Barbie,
like,
Kayla, and Christy. They might have named them
yeah,
different names. I don't remember. But yeah, they were really beautiful dolls. Those tails don't hold up, unfortunately. I've had quite a few that have had sad tails, but they're beautiful dolls.
yeah, and even though they're a plain line, because of the deterioration of the tails, they're so expensive to get, especially like really minty.
Yeah.
So one day I'll have one. one day.
Yeah.
I don't have any of my childhood dolls at all. I grew up with a lot of like family friends that were having kids and all that were less fortunate, and we ended up giving all of our toys away to other kids.
Aw,
Yeah, so that's what I just been trying to collect pieces of my childhood back again,
right.
but it's
How,
a lot more expensive this time around.
yeah, oh, for sure. How was your family with that? Like your parents and with you with dolls?
I mean, they didn't really mind so much. As I got old, like I was never really bought Barbies specifically for me. Like I had like I don't know if it's even an American Boy doll. I think it was like an off-brand. I had one of those as a kid, and that was like my doll. But I got like GI Joes and stuff like that. Like I would get
Nice.
like the gendered toys and stuff, but I still liked playing with my sisters and all that. And actually, a lot of my really early childhood memories playing with dolls before my sisters were even old enough to have them. I had cousins that were my age, and every time we'd go to like my grandma's house that lives on the coast, she kept like a big trunk of like dolls from my aunts when they were younger. So stuff from like the 60s and the 70s and like, like the good Mattel stuff. And as people got older, my cousins had kids and they had girls, so they took a lot of the stuff. And for years, I was begging my grandma for whatever was left in that trunk. She's like, "Well, I don't have the trunk anymore." And so I thought it was just lost. And then years later, she found a bag that she put everything in. And so I went through it all, and I still have one thing because the rest was kind of like destroyed essentially.
Right.
But I remember this specifically from my childhood. I would put this on my dolls all the time, but it's the peasant
Oh
dress.
yeah, that's
It's
fabulous.
it's missing the sleeves and it's so tattered, but uh this was the one from my childhood growing up that my grandma had and everything. And because it was destroyed, I got a nice version to display that I have
Oh,
on
that's
Etsy.
beautiful. What a fabulous fun fashion to have, like,
But
because it wasn't within your time period, so
not at
you got
all.
to experience something fun and funky from the past that.
Yeah, but my parents didn't care. Like I got to play with my cousins and do it at my grandma's and all that. I'm very fortunate that, I wasn't like, you're not allowed to do that. I wasn't bought Barbies, but my sisters were bought them, and I lived through them. So
Right, right. As both a collector and an artist, has collecting Barbie influenced the way you design clothing?
I definitely do think it does now. I got really into like Barbie history and like what designers influenced Barbie in the beginning when they were designing stuff. And I think it's just fun that it kind of does this cycle of like art inspiring art, and then the art that was created by the other art is inspiring art. It's just kind of fun because before Barbie, it was strictly like for people, and I had a very different aesthetic. But since collecting, um, that's totally changed, and I think I have a much wider range of like inspiration, and like I'm not like pigeonholed into just like one era and one look. Um, Even though I feel like I'm pigeonholing myself a little bit just because I have a favorite era,
That's
but
okay.
not in the way that I can't also be inspired by others. Where like before, I feel like I was very much like into the 80s and just like all the media I was consuming, just like living in nostalgia that wasn't even really mine, but like I could feel it and I liked that feeling. And so being able to experience that through Barbie now, through all the eras that she had, I think is really fun and like kind of just makes me want to create more a little bit. I feel like there's more options. I that you're not just stuck doing one thing. So I think it's exciting. Yeah,
If you could design an official Barbie fashion for any era of Barbie history, which era would you choose and why?
definitely late 60s mod. Um, I picked this era because while the earlier 60s was really like high end kind of Dior couture based on like actual runway pieces, I think things got a lot more creative in the late 60s. People were less scared to be experimental. People were using crazy fabrics, crazy colors, just kind of, even if it didn't work, they're putting it together. And it's for kids anyway. Like the brighter, shinier, more interesting something's going to look, the more, it's going to grab a kid's
Their
attention.
attention.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I just think it's a fun era, and there's just so much you can do, you know.
What makes Barbie an enduring source of inspiration for artists and collectors decades after her debut?
I think it's just a fun, she's almost like a blank canvas in a way, like a blank piece of paper. Anyone can work with it, but each person is so individual. You see your own vision projected onto the stall, and I think that's what makes her so special, is that
Yeah.
you can give 10 artists the exact same base doll and then be like, design something, and then they give it back and they're all completely different. And I think that's just really fun that we're able to kind of all collectively share that experience in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember when Billy Boy's book, Barbie, Her Life and Times, I found that book in the library as a kid, and along with the Barbie encyclopedia, checked it out like, constantly, was like rechecking it out. But it had like this amazing section on all of these designers that were given a Barbie and designed, Christian Dior, who had this beauty secrets that was in this like I still think it's fabulous. It was like this green and black gown with the bow on the back, and they had painted black like gloves, opera gloves on her, which was kind of unusual because she's a gimmick doll with her arms. But it was really amazing, a lot of Italian designers and stuff, and I think that definitely like piqued my creativity and my imagination, being able to see Barbie through so many different designers' eyes.
No, that's really cool. And I didn't even know about that. So I'm definitely have to like look into that because I want to see, what all the design.
Oh yeah, you have to check out that book. It's so good. It also, that's as a kid, that's how I found out about Lily. Because there was next to no, I mean, now we actually have a plethora of information. But at the time, literally like zilch if you are living in America and like especially a kid or whatever. But like the books, there was just like nothing on her. But this Billy Boy book had a little section and highlighted her. And I remember as a kid being like, who is Lily? Like, what is this?
Yeah, like she looks like Barbie, but she's different.
But she's different. She's a
Yeah,
little bit bitchier.
yeah, I know. That's so fun.
Well, I don't know. The number one and two Barbies are pretty bitchy. Has there ever been a piece that you almost gave up on, but ended up becoming one of your favorites?
Yeah, so in 2022, it's like when I first really got, I guess when I first like made my Instagram account, because I was collecting before then a little bit, but I wasn't like posting anything. I wasn't
Right.
doing restoration work. I wasn't customizing anything. My one of my first projects was working on a fashion queen because she was my first like favorite vintage Barbie when I first got into collecting because I loved the wigs and just like the later 60s era. Just the fact that she can kind of change her style more, I think made her more fun. Also, I did drag and I wore wigs. So like being able to like it's kind of like a mini me in that way.
Right.
And so I started getting more into research with like Barbie and getting into prototypes and seeing. I just love researching things, and especially when it has to do with like art and fashion. And then I saw that there was like the yellow painted fashion queen prototype.
Yeah.
And then I was starting to newly be obsessed with color magic, and I'm like the bright yellow hair reminded me of the prototype, but the prototype one was like a lighter yellow, but like Color Magic has the more gold kind of, school bus yellow kind of color. And so I'm like, I'm never in my mind at that time in 2022. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to afford a Color Magic. They're expensive. I was paycheck to paycheck. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never seen a Color Magic fashion queen, but they made like the cut and style Color Magic wigs for fashion queen. They like wanted to so bad, but they never made like an actual, doll that came with like the yellow wig with the beret. It just wasn't the same. So I'm like, I want a doll that's a fashion queen to look as much like a color magic as I possibly can. Sorry, that was a long-winded way of going about talking about my first restoration. So I took this fashion queen and tried to replicate the makeup, and I think the photo's still up on my Instagram of the first one that I painted. It is, I look back on it now and it's just like bad. And I tried to do it like three different times and I just kept messing up every time and I didn't seal anything. And then the hair got sticky and the paint started peeling off and I just shoved her in a bin
Oh
for
no. Yeah.
for like a few years. And then a couple of years, in 2024, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this a real thing. I'm gonna revisit this. I pulled her back out, redid her, and she's
Oh, she's
here.
amazing. She's so
And
beautiful.
I can't really see her. Her makeup looks much better now, but
Oh, she's gorgeous.
I made this is the first wig I ever made for myself, and it's like the cheapest nylon hair, and there's glue on the top, and it's really bad. It's hot glued together, but I don't know. She's really special to me because I had a lot of success with my Color Magic fashion queens. They had a good response. They took a lot out of me to make, and it took me like a couple years to actually be able to produce them. I had to like source the mintiest, bodies I could find and the best fashion queen heads, and I had to repaint everything, and it took a while. But I am glad I never gave up and didn't stop, this idea that I had, and now it's something I'm really proud about, and I want to make more in the future eventually.
It was
So
such a beautiful collection. I was lucky enough to see it when we were at Joe's Queen of the Doll Aisle show.
yeah, I know, and I know that you wanted one, so it's still on my list. I'm
Oh.
still gonna make you one.
Yeah, we're gonna have we'll have lots of dolls in each other's future. What advice would you give to someone who wants to begin creating high-end fashions but feels intimidating by pattern making?
Um, I would definitely, now that we're in the digital age, utilize, any and all sewing tutorials on YouTube. That was a great source for me because while I designed stuff before Barbie for like real people and like real people proportions, I was like, how do I resize this into Barbie scale? Like,
Mhm.
because things are different. Like her proportions are so different than like a normal person that like techniques that you learn in regular sewing don't necessarily translate exactly over to
Right.
her. So I used a lot of tutorials. I I did this for drag and I did it for Barbie. Would take like saran wrap and like plastic wrap and like wrap her body and then put tape over that so then the tape doesn't get stuck. And basically mummify her in this way and then use a pen and draw on where I want my seams, where I need to do whatever, and then you just cut it right off of her and create your pattern from that. I think that's the least stressful way of going about doing that
Yeah,
because just
that's
trying
how
to
I
eyeball
started
it
with
and
duct tape and yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
it's
also, I
just
would tell people not to use fabric that frays. Is like when you're starting out, you may want to use all of the silks and the brocades and all that wonderful stuff, but save it until you're a little more skilled because it can be a real challenge. And some ways around that would be getting interfacing, like lightweight interfacing to iron on to help strengthen the fabric so it's not fraying everywhere. But trust me, if you're just starting, stay away from those fabrics. Stick with your cottons or fabrics that don't fray so much.
like a yeah, like a four-way stretch sport lycra or yeah, just something that has a little more grace because you don't want to like have it fraying and then you do the seam all nice and then all of a sudden just busts apart. Like,
Pulls out and you're in
oh my
literal
gosh,
tears because you've
tragic.
made the most beautiful satin bodice in the whole entire world and you go to put it on and you just give it a little bit of a stretch to snap it and it just pulls right out of those seams and it's very sad.
It just rips apart. It just rips apart.
And I've always, when I sew for dolls, I've always cut really close to the seam on the inside, because I want everything to look really like, professional and great. And the problem is with those fabrics, if you don't have an interfacing or something like that, they will literally pull out of the seams. So
Yeah,
you live, you learn, but trust us. Use interfacing if you're going to use those fancy fabrics.
absolutely. Yeah, better safe than sorry.
So imagine that you are curating a museum exhibit featuring five Barbie dolls that tell the story of fashion. Which five dolls or fashions would you choose and why?
So I went, I think, the non-typical route because one of my biggest inspirations for designing is like pinups and vintage lingerie and sleepwear. And I think Barbie has an amazing array of such items. And I feel like people don't really ever pick them as like mainstays or like showpieces. So I picked five dolls in lingerie or
Oh, I'm
sleepwear.
excited.
Um, I tried to go one for each era-ish, that the closest I could, just
Yeah.
based off what I had in my collection. But for the first stall, and starting with the early Barbie, I went with a
Dun, dun, dun,
brunette
dun.
number one in
Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh
in
my
90
gosh, yes.
negligee with her
Okay,
little
so I have to
puppy.
clue everybody in. I'm laughing like inside so hard because Tyler and I did this shoot already once, much like what happened with Bill Greening. Even though I promised myself I would never do it again, I did not hit record. So now I have a huge sticky note on my computer that says record so that hopefully that'll never happen again. But the first time around, when this came out, the dog was not there, and I was very upset because the dog is my favorite part of this ensemble. So, Tyler, you just totally like cracked me up that you like made sure to add that for this take.
I know you're like the first time you're like, "Where's the dog?" And I'm like, "It died."
It died. It's gone. I'm like, no, that's the best
I
part.
know. I had
As
to
a
go find
kid,
it.
I was I mean, I say as a kid, I think I was like maybe 12 or something. I that was one of the pieces that I'd wanted forever looking at my mom's little vintage Barbie booklet. I always wanted that outfit for the dog. And when I finally did get that dog, I had her take me to the craft store and we went and got all of these felts and I made my own in multicolors and whatnot. And now there's someone actually, I think, on Etsy and eBay that does like the skipper cats and does the dogs and does a really cute job. But I was obsessed as a kid with those. I thought they were the freaking cutest. They were the bee's knees.
I love them, and I just got this one too. Hold on, I'll grab it.
Yes.
It it's like a Tootie one, but it's like the little Tootie clown.
Oh yeah, isn't that
Yeah,
so sweet?
I love it. I just love the little felt, accessories and stuff. They're
Accessories.
really fun.
They're
Um,
really fun.
so yeah, this would be my first pick. Second pick would be, I have to grab her. She's back here. Goodbye. Would be a fashion queen because we're going a little later now in the time, but uh I didn't want to do a mod lingerie look yet. So we went with the 1961 lingerie fashion pack and I went with black.
Yes.
I chose black because they don't really do a lot of dark lingerie. They don't have a lot of dark colors, and black is kind of a rare color, especially for vintage Barbie. And while the blue set may be better because it has the garter belt, I just like, I don't know, the sensuality of the black. I think it's a little more risque,
It's
I
way more
guess.
risque. It's a lot more
Way more
sexy.
risque. Yeah. But I think she looks great. And the wig, this is probably my favorite wig, the
I
little pink
love
boy.
it.
So yeah, that's the second Barbie. The
I was obsessed with that outfit too. I have like little baggies of like pink, baby blue, black, multiple, doubles and pieces like because every time like I'd find them, I would just like stash them away because I really really liked them. But the baby I'm I'm a Cancer. I love blue and green, the ocean, so I'm always attracted to the blues, especially like a baby blue. So I love those.
No, absolutely. The lingerie pieces are something that whenever I go to the doll show in Portland, I if I see some and they are in good price, like in good condition and for a fair price, it doesn't matter if I already have it. I'm just gonna keep buying it. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I don't know why it brings me joy. I just want a million.
It's the little
Uh,
things in life.
it really is.
Literally.
For my third doll, I went with my favorite Barbie now. Sorry, Fashion Queen. The newest favorite, wearing my favorite outfit ever. And it is the Color Magic, wearing the Perfect
Yes.
Beginnings Color Magic variants, little lingerie set.
One of my
Uh,
Grail outfits. I love it. It's so beautiful.
I never thought I would own this set, and I think I only got this one because it was like a big lot. Like there was a huge lot of clothing, and it was just kind of tucked in on the side. And I think I paid maybe like $200 for the lot. Like there was a bunch of really good stuff, but
Yeah.
people were paying 150 just for the outfit on its own. So I'm like, you know
Right.
what? Worth
Score.
it. Worth it. I'm getting it. I get that. I already had like a really minty skirt. And then I can't remember. I do have a second one, but I got it in bits and pieces, the top separate from the bottom, and they're like really, really faded. And
Yeah.
I like having it just to have it. But
Yeah.
I
No,
yeah.
I loved that one. There's something about those sets, and I really love the the swimsuit with scuba doos.
Oh
Just because the
yeah.
fabric is so fabulous, there's something about those really simple sets. And then no, I don't think it was for Twiggy, but it was the same fabric for Twiggies that was used on one of those sets that I really wanted. It's like the green and orange stripe.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cute.
Yeah, they're really great. And the mod era had so many amazing like lingerie and undergarment pieces, but I think for me, this is probably my favorite mod set. And
And you
then
love a color magic, so
and it's Color Magic, so
ex
obviously
exactly.
had to be. I'm like, there's so many that I could have picked, and I'm like, it doesn't matter, it's gonna be Color Magic. Just and I guess moving into like the 80s, because that came out in 1970. A lot of people's favorite, Miss Beauty Secrets Barbie.
Yes. Look
Um,
at her.
look at her. I mean, she was all about like the hair play, and she came with like in her illustration, like at a like a what are they?
Powder puff?
What'd you call me? I no, like a vanity. She
Oh,
came with
right,
like
right.
illustrated with like a vanity. I just think it's fun, like little wardrobe kind of moment. But we didn't get a lot of dolls that came in sleepwear or lingerie outfit. I think she just has one of the most iconic ones from the 80s. Um, and I don't, that's why I have three of her. This is another one that anytime I see these pieces, I will probably just buy it just because.
I do too. I've got a slew of beauty secrets just because I save them like I do the Western Barbies and Pink and Pretty. There's certain dolls, especially if they're nostalgic from my childhood, but there's certain dolls that like it doesn't matter if they are at a flea market, at a thrift store, at whatever, and they're not crazy expensive. I'm usually walking out the door with them. Why? I have no clue because I don't need more, but
You're saving them from the
I'm
landfill.
saving them.
Exactly. And then I didn't really pick a doll for the 90s because there were so many great Fashion Avenue lingerie sets. I couldn't pick just one, but I decided to pick a doll from the year 2000, which was the third doll in the Barbie Fashion Model Collection lingerie set, and that is this girl right here. Um,
Yes.
even though they're a nod to like the vintage Barbie from the 60s, I do think that the outfits they wear and like the way the lingerie is styled is giving more like a 90s 2000s kind of lingerie
Yeah.
vibe.
And by
Um
the time she came out, Mattel learned how to spell genuine. So.
yeah, that part. You talking about the misprint?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, the cool thing about this doll though is that um come on, Tyler, Jesus.
Come
I
on,
wanna I
Tyler.
wanna but yeah, so that's probably the final doll of my five that I would display and
I
highlight.
love that so much. I there's a lot of people that probably don't know this, but if you get the porcelain reproduction dolls that Mattel made in the 90s, they have fabulous lingerie underneath their outfits. And I mean, as somebody who even collects seeing the pictures, they don't show the lingerie, they just show like sophisticated lady porcelain Barbie or whatnot, and underneath their clothing are fabulous lingerie sets. And even Ken, the tuxedo Ken that they made in porcelain, has a little wife beater and boxers and black socks with little garters on for the socks. They're freaking cute. They're adorable. They're worth getting the doll just for the lingerie, and they're affordable enough that, you know.
Exactly. The Ken Garter sock thing, that's my favorite part.
It's so cute.
They're
It's so
so
cute.
cute. I'm really glad that Mattel brought that back for Ken with like the what is it, the fashion interviewer, or like there's that Ken Silkstone that came out because
Oh,
his
right.
he has the little sock garter and like the little tank top, and I'm glad that they did bring that back.
That's super cute.
Super cute.
I love that. I love that you had the I love that you that I sent you the questions ahead of time and you had that all like ready to go. You're like, I'm not only gonna tell them what $5, I'm gonna show them what $5.
I'm like, what from my collection would I want, put up? Because I don't know. Want to see. It's my own museum.
Right, right. Um, what drew you to creating doll clothing and what made you choose textiles and pattern making as your artistic medium?
Um, so in when I was a kid, I before I really was sewing, I was drawing a lot, and so I focused a lot on drawing. But like my grandma is a seamstress, and she hand sews everything and taught me how to sew at a really young age. So I was drawing and sewing and just creating art all the time. But I was sewing more for, like to make pillows or,
Right.
whatever kind of basic stuff. And I was focusing more on my drawing. And then all the years pass, and then I get to college, and they're pretty much like, yeah, so 2D animation and drawing in the way that you want to do is pretty much obsolete, and you'll have to do 3D modeling. And I passed my 3D modeling class, but I suffered every single second of it. It made me want to pull my hair out. I am like, I'm not going to do this for the next 40, 50 years of my life. So I'm like, what's my backup plan? What else am I really good at and I enjoy doing? And that was sewing. So I entered the apparel design program, and it's been that ever since. And I'm glad I haven't gone back. I, still draw here and there, but definitely more into sewing. After college, after I like became more of an adult, I started doing drag, and so I started sewing my own outfits for drag, and that was really fun. And then after 6 years, I was like, you know what? We're gonna take a break. This isn't bringing me joy anymore. I'm not, having fun the way I used to. And I had started collecting Barbie at the time, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have to stop what I'm doing. Like, I used to do my own makeup, style my own wigs, sew my own outfits. And I'm like, you know what? I can do all that on Barbie. I'm like, I can reroot her and
Exactly.
reset her hair, and like I know how to do all the vintage sets. So we just do the little curl sets and whatever, and I can do repainting. I love restoration work, so I like psycho studied and practiced a million times, and I feel like I can definitely do the color magic face like that, like in my sleep.
Hmm.
And it's yeah, that's just been really fun. And then so I started, doing fashion for them too, and it's just kind of been gun ho since then, and
I
been
love
really
that.
enjoying that. Yeah.
And then for those who don't know, your drag persona, Betty, or Petty Page, which is
Uh-huh.
such a fantastic name. I love that name. And Petty Page, hands down, one of the most beautiful drag queens I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, amazing. I mean, I'm so happy that even if you found out that that wasn't your path at the moment and wasn't bringing you joy at the moment, I'm
Yeah,
so glad that you did it because iconic. You were amazing, so beautiful.
thank you. Insert photo here.
Yes, yes. Just one? No, we'll have multiple.
The Brady, just Brady Bunch style, just
Right, here's the
silver screen.
story of a lovely drag queen who was
Exactly.
better than most all of the girls.
Iconic.
But she had one secret. No. Anyway, sorry. Um, when you begin designing a new outfit, do you start with fabric, the silhouette, or the story of the doll?
I definitely start with the fabric, whether it's, physically in hand or if I see something in media, whether that's like a movie or a music video or in a magazine, and I'm like, I like how that fabric looks, and I get an idea to create whatever. It's always centered around the fabric and just the garment itself first. Um, I know some people work the opposite way where they, design the doll and they know what hairstyle they want to do, but then they don't know what outfit they want to put on, or they're not able to make an outfit for the doll. I feel like I'm the opposite of that. And the doll comes second because the outfit can be put on anything. So I think that's what's so exciting and definitely something that held me back though. And I've had to like remind myself of because I had a lot of like creative block the last few years. And I have a laundry list of projects I want to do, but it's all been kind of halted because I've thought out my concepts to the point where I've designed the exact doll I want it to be on and the hairstyle. And it got exhausting being like, I'm going to have to reroute a doll and then style it and then repaint the hair. And then I have to make the outfit where I just figured out I can just make the outfit and that's okay. The doll can come later. A thing I've been doing recently, and lots of people have thoughts about AI. I have thoughts about it. You have thoughts about it. I think it can be a useful tool, um, but shouldn't be relied on,
Right.
obviously. But I think because I'm a very visual person, like I really need to see everything in front of me. And to be able to take a photo of my doll just in its natural state, take my design I've drawn out and colored, and plug it into AI and be like, can you show me what this outfit is going to look like on this doll in a 1/6 scale, realistic?
Right.
And then to have it like show me and be like, okay, well, damn, cool. Well, I need to make that now. And now when I make it, it needs to look better than that because I'm like,
Right. It's pretty amazing, really. And I think that we just as people need to figure out how to properly put it to use. Right now, it's kind of like everybody's just like generating stupid stuff. We're wasting water. We're stealing from other artists because that's what AI does. And so there's a lot still to be learned, and we need to be able to like harness it better because there's wonderful things that it can do and that can project us into a better place in the future and certainly making things easier for us. For instance, the theme song to this channel is AI. I wrote it and I sang it into the phone, and then magically within seconds, it generated versions for me to pick through of my song. Whereas, I didn't have the $500+ to pay a service online to record my song, and I didn't feel comfortable enough to like be like Joey and Friends and just sing it myself. And so for my vision of what I wanted, it's still my intellectual property. I still wrote it. I still came up with the like the way the jingle went and everything. But by being able to use AI, I was able to actually like kind of fulfill what my dream was of that. Although I know it offends some people and I understand why, but also we're living, we're learning. it has been generated. I'm thinking in the very near future, I'll be able to figure out an alternative that I'll put up to that, maybe for the next season. But for the moment, it's been done, and it's cute, and I like it. But I definitely understand the battle with the AI monster, and especially being an artist. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to kind of rein it in so that it is a wonderful tool for us to use, but it's not stealing from other people. And I'm not sure if that'll happen or how that can happen, but we need to figure out something for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I
Also, so
think
it uses other resources, that's a
that
big
part,
thing, yeah.
no, absolutely. And it's that weird line of like, when people use AI, are they using it solely from the AI perspective of like it's taking other people's art to generate this idea that they have, or are they using AI incorporated with their own art to be able to
Right.
get something that they created themselves? It's just using a new tool. Like you totally could have recorded and did whatever, and but you'd have to have like a studio set up and like a
Yeah.
microphone, and like resources like that just aren't available. And so being able to have this tool in that way to help progress your own art without stealing from other people, I think is okay in a sense. Because again, it's just a tool. And you know that
Right.
you and I know that we can do it better without AI,
Yeah.
but sometimes like just accessibility is kind of tricky.
It is. It is. What do you find the biggest challenges scaling couture techniques down to fashion doll size?
The biggest challenge I think is like details, and because a lot of like couture pieces are, couture obviously is all sewn by hand and like highly embellished and usually very extravagant, and like there's quite a few artists that are good at replicating that on a smaller scale, but I think the ones that have a higher impact are the ones that are really a piece to make a piece look really like high end and couture and really nice, no matter the simplicity. I think really comes down to precision and attention to detail. And you don't have to have all the extra folds that maybe the couture piece has, as long as you can translate it in a simpler kind of way that
Right.
doesn't take away from the extravagance of the original. Um, and I think that kind of makes the difference a little bit, like really refining and taking your time when making something. Even like super simple stuff. Like you could take two really simple patterns. One person could do it, not really caring, doing it really fast, and then the other person can take their time and iron out their pieces and do the correct seam allowance and the correct stitch length and tension. And one is going to look a lot nicer than the other one, even though they're both really simple, just because
Right.
of that attention to detail and refinement. Um, I think that's what makes the difference.
Absolutely. I like that answer a lot. Can you walk us through your design process from the first sketch to the finished garment?
Yeah, of course. I take a lot of inspiration from like movies and film and like music. Music is a weird one because that one's more of an imagination inspiration versus like seeing it on screen and being like, I like that idea. I want to do something based on that idea. Where like music that ties into like when I did drag and I used to have to come up with performances. I'm like, okay, so if there's this song, what would the performance be? And then what would this person be wearing? So that's where that kind of is fun to be able to like listen to a new song and be like, okay, wait, hold on. I could totally see this outfit for this video or this look or this photo shoot or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that's where I start. And then from there, I like to put pen to paper. I'm very traditional. I like to use just like a pencil and color pencils or markers and do it on an actual thing that I can like erase and like really adjust. Not because I've refused to go digital, but more just because I think I enjoy the traditional way of doing things more.
Mhm.
Um, I just like the way it looks. I think it looks a little more human to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I so then I draw all my ideas down and I like make myself a ton of notes because you can't capture everything in just one drawing on a like a croquis sketch. So I write all my notes down and then I figure out what fabrics I want to use, what colors or patterns, and I like have a bunch of different options, and then I select through the options till I find the exact one that I want. Then I like to collect all my materials. I like to see everything in front of me to visualize it because sometimes you go and buy all the stuff and then you look at it and you're like, actually, that color doesn't really look good with that. I kind of should have done this other thing. And and that's where like the AI thing again comes into play because you can skip that middle step of trying out what you had the first time, wasting your time essentially making everything to just be like, okay, well, now I know that's actually going to look good. So I'm going to prep and get that. So after I have my materials, then I like cut out my patterns or create my patterns if they aren't available, if I'm not able to, borrow from other sets or, patterns that I've collected over time. Then I have to do a bunch of trial runs with like muslin fabric or whatever and adjust and make do little things. And then once I finally have the finished one, I cut out all my final fabric, press everything. Secret ingredient to sewing is an iron. It really
Yes.
makes a difference. And that's again like that attention to detail and refinement, like really pressing your pieces will make your fabric look more expensive. It just
Yeah,
will.
absolutely.
So after I get all that done, it's basically just going piece by piece and sewing everything together. And it takes me a million years because I have to sit back and reflect on every single tiny stitch that I've done. I'm like, I did a single stitch. Let's look at it for 20 minutes. Like,
Right. I'm so proud of myself.
wow, what a good stitch. Let's do it again.
I love that. Yeah, I don't get that step anymore because I work in such big groups when I'm doing it. I'm kind of just like factory worker, like, okay, we're getting this done, but I get a different kind of satisfaction because then at the end, when it's all the work is done, and then I'm actually dressing the dolls and getting them ready, I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice. Like I did a good job.
I think it's important, but it also can be it can hold me back a bunch. But I think reflection is a good part of like the artistic process. Um, because if you sometimes if you don't reflect on things as you're creating them, then like or like look them over and really examine them, then by the time you get your finished piece, it might not look as refined or polished or not,
Right,
or you might have inconsistencies and be like, why didn't I catch that the first time? You know.
right.
Um, but obviously if you've been doing it for a long time, and you're really good at it like then maybe that factory thing is fine because you have the skill set to do it perfect each time. So
Right. Yeah, no, I had like already before I started manufacture or becoming a manufacturer, making dolls myself like that. I had plenty of years of hand sewing and making, cute little fashions for dolls and whatnot. So, yeah. I think my very first big project. My grandmother also taught me how to sew. And she made this really it's kind of terrible, but it was really cute and it was my design, but I think I was like watching Cinderella that day or something. It was my mom's favorite movie. So my mom's favorite was Cinderella, my grandmother's favorite was Snow White, eras, and then I was
yeah,
Ariel. But so I love Cindy and Snow White just because of that connection with my mother and grandmother. But it was this white taffeta, like white taffeta. And my grandmother had this like curtain in her like fabric stash that was like this sheer turquoise, kind of like London Fog's scarf or whatever.
yeah,
But it was a little stiffer than that. But um, I had this idea of this very simple strapless bodice that went into God, I can't even think right now. A gown, or went into I'm blanking with the word of when you stitch something and you cinch it all together. Gathered.
Gathered.
Why can't
Yeah.
I think of the word gathered? Anyways, it was a white simple bodice and it had this gathered white skirt attached to it. And then we did with this turquoise sheer fabric little peplums on the side like Cinderella. And that was, and I was like, I thought it was everything. I was like, this is the most fabulous fashion, ever. It like was like maybe kind of bridal and then maybe kind of prom. Like
Right.
I don't know what it was, but it was there and we made it and I really liked it. And so later on my very first like me full on patterning and making something for myself. I actually had a Shawnee doll from the Shawnee line that I was like obsessed with, and she had like gold in her dark hair, like gold streaks, and was super beautiful. And my mom had this old coat that had this like copper satin lining. And I decided she was going to have this Renaissance fantasy. So she had to have the sleeves, the drapey, long, pointy sleeves, and like the whole thing. And actually, I mean, I haven't owned it or seen it or known what's happened to it for years and years and years. So, but I think from my memory, I think it turned out pretty good for my first time. Now that's me saying it, not seeing it in years. If it like showed up, I'd be like, "Oh God, never mind." But I think I did pretty decent.
Isn't it funny? Like, I don't know. It might just be like the gay boy experience of like being obsessed with like princesses or like bridal stuff and all that. Because like when I was young and like I've always loved fashion and stuff, but when I would draw, I would always, and this is so morbid, would always draw like a bride falling out of a window with like glass, and sometimes she was bloody, sometimes she wasn't. We don't know, but I don't. It's just so crazy, and I drew it so many times. And I'm like, I wonder if my mother thought I was like a psychopath at one point. Like, is he good?
No,
I don't know.
I think it's so normal because, like, when I was a kid and had the few chances that I did to like be at a girlfriend's house or something and play with her dolls, I remember it was actually my friend's sister, and she had the townhouse, and so we'd set it all up. And then natural disaster time, it would be like earthquake in the house and we would shake that thing. Sometimes the elevator shaft would break. Sometimes Ken would be below the elevator waiting for his date from Barbie to come down. And like crap would go flying everywhere. And then we would like spend another hour resetting everything up all perfect. Like, I mean, who knows, kids. But I think that there's something with that. A woman that's in this like fabulous fashion, whether it be like a bride's dress or a prom dress or whatnot, and then there's like this like terror or something that happens that like dishevels the gown and the look, but there's something really like satisfying about that at the same
Yeah,
time.
in like
I
a
think
weird
that's
way.
yeah, I think it's why we love like Carrie or, Prom Night Mary Lou too, and stuff like that. There's something about that. Or the new Ready or Not movies. And earlier I had referenced what's it called? Flowers in the Attic, which you need to watch.
Yes.
Like there's three versions now. The 80s is the best just because the 80s is the best. But yeah, you definitely need to watch that movie.
Sure, Jan.
Incest, fashion, it's all good.
Got all the things.
All the things, all the things. Um, okay. What's one tiny detail that most people overlook, but that you believe makes all the difference in a beautifully made doll garment?
So I kind of hinted at this earlier, talking about like the couture stuff. It would really be like precision and attention to detail and refinement.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that example I gave with like two of the exact same pattern, where like one can be done really fast and it's going to look fine, but if you really take your time on the other one, it's going to look expensive, even if it's simple. And I think that really makes the difference. And just like I just putting love into the things you do, It's like taking your time and if it doesn't turn out right the first time, redoing it until it's perfect. You
Yeah.
know, practice makes perfect. You're not going to do it perfect the first time. I've definitely crashed out many times trying to sew the same skirt over and over, and the seams aren't working, and then things are ripping, and it just, yeah, no, refinement.
Refinement. Refinement.
Refinement.
Um, where do you find your inspiration for your designs? Vintage fashion, runway collections, films, history, or somewhere unexpected?
So I take a lot of inspiration from like Golden Age Hollywood movies. Very thankful that my late partner got me really into that because before that, I was really just 80s, 90s movies. That's what really inspired me heavily the first time. But now having this knowledge, I've really gone back and even started looking at like 1940s and 1930s, like silent films, and just the fashion is just so impeccable. And they used to make things for movies just for like the poster or
Yeah.
just for like a shoot or like one scene in this movie. And just seeing that stuff like preserved and displayed now, it's just like that's really inspiring to me. And I'm like, dang, like these are art pieces. And so taking
Yeah.
that art, translating it over, like I love all the Marilyn Monroe movies, all the,
They would
tribute
literally sew her
pieces.
into some of her dresses. I mean,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
insane. And then the Shirley MacLaine movie, What a Way to Go. There's so many beautiful just costumes. Just I think costuming is low key a lost art and something people like don't really appreciate because like it's too dramatic or whimsical or whatever. But I think it
Right.
just creates so much inspiration and like imagination. Like, yeah, it looks that way because it's not supposed to be real. Like it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
That's why it
But other
always
than
cracks me up on Drag Race when they're like, this look is too costumey. I'm like, it's drag, like, like
life is a costume, yeah.
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
Other than that, I pull a lot of my inspiration from like vintage pinups. I That's what inspired my drag. It's what's inspiring, my doll designing. Betty Page, Queen of Pinups, and I don't know, just a lot of like vintage ad stuff that like Fredericks of Hollywood used to put out and like their little ad prints for like lingerie.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of like fetish art in a way, like not to be graphic, but like, stuff with like leather and like harnesses, and that goes hand in hand with like the pinup stuff.
Latex. Uh-huh.
Latex, yeah,
I
just
mean,
different.
that's where Miss Mary, like, when I was conceiving her, that was definitely like part of her world and her look is that kind of like fetishy, latexy kind of thing. Yeah.
And I feel like everyone in their own way loves like a badass, like bitchy girl. I don't know.
Hmm.
I love it, and I think a lot of people pull inspiration from that. So
We love a
I
mean girl. No.
I love your skirt. Where'd you get it?
Right.
um, but yeah, so I think that's a lot of my inspiration. Yeah, film, a lot of like older Hollywood designers and pinup.
Awesome. I love that. Well, we're gonna hit some rapid questions here. We're gonna do like a little rapid fire questions. Are you ready for it, Tyler?
I'm born ready.
Can you
Yes.
handle the heat? No, I'm just kidding. I know you can handle the heat. Okay. Favorite Barbie decade?
Mod,
Silk or cotton?
cotton,
Vintage or modern Barbie?
vintage, always.
Hand sewing or machine sewing?
Hand sewing. You can see the love a machine can't provide.
Favorite fashion designer?
Okay, I'm gonna name vintage ones and modern ones. Vintage
Okay.
fashion designers, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Thierry Mugler, William Trevia, and then modern designers, Jeremy Scott when he did Moschino, and then this brand Amelia, that designers for that would be like Nan Lee and Amelia, uh, what is it? Full? It's like Pfole. I think it's full. But yeah, Those are my
I'll
favorite
have to
designers.
check them out. I hadn't heard of them. But I
Yeah,
love that you say vintage designers and you mentioned Terry Mugler because I'm like, that to me, that's not vintage. I'm like, I mean, I guess it kind of is, but I'm like, I think vintage, I think like, 70s and earlier, or something where Terry Mugler was like 90s,
30
It just makes me,
years.
you make me feel so old, Tyler. What is your
30 years.
problem?
30 years is vintage. I'm
You're
hitting my
right.
vintage.
I know. I think it's even 15 years or something like that. But yeah,
I'm hitting my vintage year this month,
right. Well,
turning
you're
30.
looking good and you just
Thank
like keep on
you.
aging well like wine. So,
Yes.
Um, your most treasured doll in your collection.
My factory mint Color Magic. I bought her as the Color Magic torso with like the cello and all that. And I put her on like a really mint body and I have the torso just put away. She's my number one. I'm grabbing in a fire no matter what. Like she's in my will. Like I someone
Right.
specific is getting this doll. It is not being sold. It is being kept. My second one, which was a tie essentially, is the Black Magic reproduction Silkstone that they did for sentimental reasons. It was the last doll that my partner gave to me before they passed. But so that's why I would pick that one. But otherwise, it'd be Miss Fashion or Miss Fashion Queen. Wow, no, Miss Color Magic. That's what it
Yes.
would be. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, um, okay, let's see. Now I lost track. Okay. Oh, one sewing tool that you couldn't live without.
Measuring tape, precision.
Precision. Favorite Barbie fashion ever made.
Where'd she go? This one.
Yes.
The perfect beginning set. I just like the variants that they made. I just think it's fun. I have to buy it every time I see it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's my favorite.
Favorite or dream collaboration.
Uh, I would love to work with Carol Spencer, and I wish she was still designing. We're friends on Facebook. She adds everyone that adds her on Facebook, just so everyone knows. If you add her, she'll add you back.
Yes.
But I would love to, be able to see her design process and work with her. Just, she has made such iconic pieces for the Barbie lines. I
Mhm.
think that would be my first pick for sure.
I love that. One word that describes Barbie.
Face card. I say face card because she's just like the recognizability of Barbie. Like in a crowd of clones, you can tell which one's real, like immediately. And I think that impact on people and just her pop culture iconicness, I think is what makes her really special, I think now.
I think that's a good answer. For the people that weren't
I
here
didn't
for
want to
the
say the first one.
unrecorded session that we had, his answer was hot. And so Paris Hilton came into conversation, and we're not going to relive that conversation, but there you go.
I was just
You're
like,
welcome.
she's hot. Duh.
Hot. Anyways. So, what do you think that the future looks like for you? What are you working on anything like right now in the moment, collections wise?
So I have a few plans for the future, some near, some far. But the one I'm working on in this moment right now, I'm doing a collab with artist Danny Darkspell, who is another artist who creates 3D printed dolls. They normally do more like Willy one Wildebra, is that what it is?
Yeah.
And like Lily and stuff like that. They don't really do Barbie as much, but they contacted me because they wanted to do a Color Magic doll. And you had them on their show or on your show a couple episodes ago, and they soft launched this collab. So I don't feel bad spilling any information, but he's like, in his words, "You're the king of Color Magic," and I didn't know who else I would want to talk uh, to do this partnership to create these outfits. Because he wanted someone that would be able to do the doll justice, you know, uh, with sewing and all that. And so I was really honored that he reached out to me. And I'm like, you think me in this corner of the room? There's so many other amazing people. And okay, thank you. Like Mark of Fashion, he's such a talented sewer, no, seamstress, I don't know, but he's great. I'm like, there's just so many. people that he could have reached out to, so I'm honored. So I made the prototype outfit. He's making the dolls, so my contribution is the outfit. And I'll show that now. But uh,
Oh,
yes, so from
it's
the
so
shoe
good.
down to I can't hold it by table
Oh,
end, but
oh,
yeah.
I love it. It's so beautiful.
I My favorite thing is accessories and separates, and just I think the more things you have to play with, the more interesting and exciting the outfit is. And I love a hat and a hair accessory. So we stole I took inspiration from the Bloomburst cap, and then this is like the cool and casual top, and then I'm like I want her in like a tight little 90s almost mini skirt, and we made her little gloves and like matching tights.
It's so
Um,
fantastic because it really, you have such a good eye for detail because it feels like it really could have happened. During that time, they had so many separates, and that's what they were kind of like getting into, that fashion play of mix and matching and whatnot. And this is so perfect for that.
I when I trying to do something that I want to look Mattel, I guess I really have to edit myself because I feel like sometimes I over design and I put too much detail in, and that's why I keep saying like refinement, really, really narrow down your idea and simplify, because that's what makes a lot of the Mattel outfits so iconic now, is that they were able to make something so simple translate so much design. And so that's what I try and do when I do pieces. And I definitely think I accomplished that with this. I'm very proud of it. The final is going to be in a different pattern fabric. It's going to have different mesh. This is just the prototype, so I don't mind showing off this part. But that should be coming out hopefully maybe the end of July, so the end of this month, if not early August.
That's
Hopefully,
exciting.
yeah. Uh, and I don't know. I would love to, I guess, just be more open to collaborating with other artists. I've been very private and very just kind of like in hermit mode. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I've been getting inspired a lot more, and my drive is coming back, and I'm just excited to create and work with other
Yeah.
people. I
I
hope that
love collaborating and we're 100% collaborating. We're going to
oh,
make it happen.
yes.
But I love collaboration. I think there's something so special. Like I love, creating and doing my own thing, but there's something so special about having that connection with somebody else who also is passionate, who also loves, the same things, and being able to like put your heads together and create something that neither one of you really would have done on your own, by taking the input of both artists, you come up with something really incredible. And I feel like it's such a fun and intimate journey, that you can have with another artist as well.
No, I think it's really great. And so I really want to, just create that openness opportunity for myself and be willing to accept collaborations and to maybe reach out myself and be like, hey, I really love your work. Are you interested in doing whatever? Because I haven't been one to really reach out. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and take those steps. I have a ton of projects planned. It really depends if I have the stamina to do them. But in the next few months to the next year, I'm hopefully gonna be consistently putting out some things and either selling stuff at the doll show or posting things through my Instagram story or on my Etsy. Eventually, one day I would love to like create my own doll. I'm gonna keep a lot of that info secret
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I yeah, I don't want I've had some thing where I say an idea and then I get stolen, and so I've been very protective over my ideas now, and I think what
And
I'm
that's
willing to
completely
share.
fair, and everybody loves a
Yeah.
surprise. So,
But I have so many exciting things planned and a lot of color magic ideas planned. And I've been really having a lot of joy like reimagining, because there was only like 6 or 8 outfits that came out for her. So I'm like, how can we keep doing this and keep making it feel new while using like
right.
the same materials they would have used? And so I've been having a lot of fun doing that. It's really pushed my thinking in a way that I have maybe struggled with in the past.
Yeah.
So lots of things on the horizon, lots of exciting stuff.
Well, that's really exciting. I love that. Well, thank you, Tyler, so much for being on the show and for sharing all these wonderful things with us. I really think that you're so mad talented. I really love your aesthetic. I love your eye for detail, and I think that you produce some really, really beautiful work. So everybody should be keeping an eye on you.
Thank you. Thank you. If you guys want to see what I'm doing, my Instagram is at Tyler's Dolls. That's where I post everything. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Tyler, so much. And we'll be seeing each other very soon.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for having me on. This has been such a fun experience. And maybe one day we'll do it again. I'm excited to see, what happens in the future.
In the future,
Yeah,
exactly.
there's so
Uh,
much.
well,
But
thanks, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and we will see you next time.
yeah, bye guys.